Welcome back to the Unfiltered podcast where nothing is filtered. So put on your big boy pants. Might be one of the craziest podcasts. There's just so much stuff to talk about in the past week. It's mainly sports. We do have to go over some passings and some rather depressing stuff, but wow. I just came back from Atlanta, Haiti versus Morocco, and as a baseball player, I'm not going to lie, bro. Them soccer people, they know how to do, them football people, they know how to do it, man. I'm going to talk about the Haiti game. We're talking about World Cup. We're talking about NBA. The draft just happened. Giannis got traded. LaMelo's gone. And then we're going to talk about the sad passing of Oliver Tree. Got a haircut. Got a little, I guess you could say soccer cut. I'm feeling a little soccer cut. Got some bedhead, though, because woke up at really early to get back home, and I did not jump in the shower today. So let's just get right into it. World Cup. Oh, I'm biting the bullet early. I'm jumping the gun. I'm just excited. Why am I, a person who always shit talks soccer, excited about the World Cup? I'm patriotic, people. I'm not going to be doing daily videos. I would if I could. It just feels like the daily videos. I mean, if y'all want to see the daily videos, let me know. I'll respond. And if a lot of people say they want to see them, then I'll do them. It's just, I don't feel like I'll have anything to talk about in the podcast if I do daily videos. So if it's important things that I want to talk about, I'm definitely going to talk about it. I posted the Aaron Fox thing, and then, of course, the sad passing of Oliver Tree. But other than that, I don't think I'm going to post much. But I'm not going to post as much daily content. But let's get into it. World Cup. Messi, your all-time World Cup goal leader. He has 18 goals heading into his last game of the group stage. They clinched they're the top of their group. He missed a PK against Austria. He lined up. So here's the pressure. It's 0-0. Austria and Argentina are playing. Both are 1-0, so winner clinches the group stage if there's a winner. Messi gets the PK. It's just him and the goalie. If he makes this, he's the World Cup leading scorer. He misses it wide right. If he would have made that, he ended up scoring 2 goals against Austria, so his 18th and then his 17th and 18th goals. But if he would have made that, he would have had back-to-back hat tricks to start off the World Cup. That is not cinema. I don't know what it is, because he's got Haaland right on his tail and Mbappe right there. Haaland and Mbappe play tomorrow about who's going to win the Golden Boot, which is basically the MVP. It's basically just who scores the most goals in the tournament. Mbappe won it last time, but remember, he had a hat trick in their loss against Argentina in penalty kicks. I don't know. Speaking of Mbappe, 2 games, he's had 2 goals each. Tied for the second most goals of all time. He has 16. And he's way younger than Messi. So, I mean, Mbappe, he might buy the time because he's already got a World Cup. World Cup runners-up. And France is a top 3 team. Top 5 for sure. I think top 3. Some would argue maybe 4th. But he's so young. He could definitely win his second World Cup and then leave most likely with the most World Cup goals once Messi retires, which this will probably be his last. But I'm just saying, I think Messi can run it back for one more time. You remember, everybody's like, oh, he can go out on a high note with his World Cup victory. Then he comes back, World Cup goal leader. I think Messi could go another World Cup also. I would not be surprised at all, especially the way his World Cup has been going. And if they lose, like they finish 2nd or 3rd and it's a heartbreaker, you know he wants to get back at the bidding shop. There's not much pressure anymore because he's basically the GOAT. He's considered the GOAT. He's my GOAT. Everybody believes he's the GOAT. He's got his World Cup. He's got the Copa, right? I believe he's got the Copa. So he's just having fun. And when you're having fun, that's when you do great things. I would be more shocked if he hangs it up after this World Cup than if he says he's going to play another one. I think Mbappe's had the most skillful or hardest, most tech goals. I mean, half of his goals have been one touch and then basically bicycle kicking and hitting top left of the goal outside of the penalty box. I mean, Messi, he's had a bunch of just played in the middle right in front of the goal, a bunch of follow-up ones. I'm not saying Messi's goals are trash because he still had some techie goals, but I feel like Mbappe's have been the most tech. And then Haaland, he's my GOAT. I love Haaland, man. He's like the Ronaldo for Norway. Like, Norway, they didn't make World Cup in like 50 years before they made it this year. And now, if they beat France, they will be the top of their group. They advanced already. They're 2-0. They play France tomorrow. And Haaland's playing some mind games. You know, a couple of days ago, he's like, we're going to lose. You know, I'm just happy we advanced. He's like, he's playing some mind game with them Frenchmen over there. Been like, basically telling him that you got the game. Watch out. I think Haaland's going to go for some bonkers. Either he's not going to get a shot off or he's going to have like 4 goals against France and carry Norway on his back. That's my GOAT. He's also got 4 goals in 2 games, just like Mbappe. I think the Norway-France game could be a top 3 World Cup game in this World Cup. Who do you think? Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to win the Golden Boot. I hope it's Haaland, but you got to play long. It's not like MVPs in America where it doesn't count as playoffs. The playoffs are technically the knockout round in World Cup. The MVP, the Golden Boot, it takes all of your games. So the more games that you play, the better, because you're going to have more chances to score. And I think Norway wins their first game but loses in the round of 16. So I think Mbappe does win the Golden Boot. Because I have France being in the Final Four. Ronaldo, we got to talk about it. He's not washed. They did play Uzbekistan, which is one of the worst teams in the World Cup. Some could say they are the worst team. After tying against the Dominican Republic of Congo and missing 2 opportunities to score, the slander was a lot, man. Like I said, I think Messi's the GOAT. But Ronaldo, he doesn't have the most goals in World Cup history, but he scored in the most World Cups. And he did that after scoring 2 against Uzbekistan and scoring half of their goals, well, technically 40% of their goals, in their 5-0 win against Uzbekistan. Now, Portugal is not guaranteed a spot. They do have 4 points. They're not guaranteed a spot, but their goal differential is definitely helping them because I think it's +1. Wait, no, it's not +1. It's +5. And if they do end up getting 3rd place in the group, who do they play? They would have to lose. I'm blanking because they already played Congo and DR Congo and Uzbekistan. If they would lose, and they're playing the first place team, they could finish 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. Most likely, they either finish 1st because they win, and then DR Congo ties or loses to Uzbekistan, who's already eliminated. But let me. All right, it's not good podcasting. But let's see. They play Colombia. That's right. Colombia's 2-0. If they would win that, they would have the head-to-head and more points against Colombia. They have to win. Colombia has 6 points. So a tie, they finish 2nd. They have 5 goal differential. They have the best goal differential in their group and one of the best goal differentials in all the they will have one of the best goal differentials in all the 3rd place teams if they do end up losing, and that would be DR Congo. All right, now that I'm looking at this, DR Congo, they do play Uzbekistan. They're not the most powerful team, so they would have to score 7 goals. They would have to win by 7 against Uzbekistan without Portugal scoring any goals and losing to Colombia, because right now Portugal has a +6 goal differential than DR Congo, and they both tied. So it goes head-to-head, and it goes goal differential. And I think it goes to goals scored and then goals allowed. So Portugal, they basically have 2nd place or 1st place locked. It's going to come down to whoever wins the Colombia-Portugal game on Friday. Friday, because today's Wednesday. Like I said, he scored 2 goals. Ronaldo's back. I think it'll be interesting because Uzbekistan, like I said, one of the worst teams, could be the worst team in the World Cup. It'll be interesting how he does against Colombia, a very underrated team. Now, Kate Vanier, They are everybody's underdog. They are the team that tied to Spain 0-0 after their first game. Their goalie gained over 15 million followers on Instagram after his brick wall performance. Right now, they're hanging on. They are the last third-place team to get in. 8 third-place teams out of 12 third-place teams get into the knockout round. They're the last team to get in right now. Let's see. Bad. This is not good. Journalism. This is not good. But who does Cape Verde play? Oh, my. They play Saudi Arabia. That's right. They tied against Uruguay. They tied against Spain. They have 2 points, and they have a 0-goal differential. Saudi Arabia is not eliminated. So Saudi Arabia, they have 1 point. So if they could win, Saudi Arabia could finish with 4 points. They do have a negative 4-goal differential, but so Saudi Arabia, they would have to score probably 2 goals and win by 2 goals to have a chance at third place. But Saudi Arabia, the team that Cape Verde plays, they are playing for something. So the pressure's going to be on. I think everybody in the world is going to be cheering for them because they're just a cool underdog story. I love Saudi Arabia. I like their flag. It's kind of cool. But even if they do lose to Saudi Arabia, Uruguay plays Spain. So they both have goal differentials. So it's going to come down to goal differential because they both tied. So Uruguay and Cape Verde, they both tied. So it's going to come down to goal differential or goals scored. But if they do tie, they're chilling because I think it's because Spain, if they would lose to Uruguay, Uruguay has the head-to-head, and then Uruguay would finish first after tying to Saudi Arabia and getting a lot of slander after their first game. Man, that Group H, it looked like it was for Spain to win, but it's anybody's group right now. Cape Verde, they can finish second. That's the best they can finish. They can finish either fourth, third, or second. If they do finish third, they would have to rack up a bunch of goals. I feel like if they win by 2 goals, they would have a +2 goal differential, and then they would have 4 points. I think they would be chilling. +1, we're close. If they do tie, I don't see them getting in, which would be very sad. That is tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I would definitely be watching that. There's a lot of games that still mean a lot head-to-head. Like the Morocco-Haiti game. The one thing that I wanted for the Morocco-Haiti game is for both teams to be playing for something because that just makes the atmosphere more entertaining. But Morocco and Haiti weren't playing for anything because Morocco already clinched the 2 seed. They were not going to jump Brazil because they would need Brazil to lose to Scotland, and then Morocco would have had to win, and then Haiti was already eliminated, and then Brazil ended up winning 3-0 against Scotland. Lamine Yamal, he started his first game against Spain. Remember, he came off the bench against Cape Verde in their tie, their first game because of a knee injury, but in his first game, he scores his first World Cup goal, 8th youngest player to ever score in the World Cup. So give it up for Yamal. Super underrated. I think he was getting a lot of publicity, and then I think he's came a little under the radar. Not super underrated, just a little underrated because I feel like he's the face of Spain. He's the face of Spain football, and I think if he gets in the groove and stays healthy, it feels like health problems could halt Lamine Yamal's career. But that's here or there. USA, they win their group after their first 2 games were wins. They have a very, very easy group. What is it? Schedule? Is that what you would call it? A schedule? I don't know how they call it in football terms. I would say path. They have a very easy path to get into the Elite 8 because it's like a 95+% chance that they play Bosnia first round after Bosnia winning 3-1 and finishing 3rd in their group with, 4 points? Yeah, 4 points. And a positive goal differential. Their head coach, Pacho, he said that he's not going to play anybody with any yellow cards because you don't want to risk it because if they do get 2 yellow cards in the group stage, they do not play in the round of 32. They've had an offensive mindset, And I think they need to have that against Bosnia because Bosnia's defense has been very under the radar because they tied against Canada. But Bosnia, they get a little sporadic when they try to switch from defense to offense. But Bosnia, they can score, and their defense is very underrated. They got to keep the offensive pressure going against Bosnia. And if they do want to win, keep winning, because it seems like second round they'll play either Iran or Egypt. Whoever wins that group, that's Group H, not H, Group D, I believe. But we got to keep Freeze focused. He's been great, but he hasn't had a lot of tough shot attempts on him. That's credit to the defense. That's credit to the offensive pressure. But I would like to see Turkey. They got a couple of young superstars that can kick it really well at the striker position and the offensive positions. I want to see them get a lot of shots off and make Freeze stay locked in. Pulisic is back. He did not play against Australia. I think you give him some substitute minutes, make sure his body's feeling good, keep his mind focused. But otherwise, I would not risk anything. There's no update if he's starting or not, but I hope not. Now let's talk about the Haiti-Morocco game that I went to. Like I said, Haiti was already eliminated. Morocco was playing for first place, but they would have needed to beat Haiti first off, and then Scotland to upset Brazil, and that did not happen. But, hey, Haiti heading into the game, it was about a 50-50 crowd. I'm not going to lie. Haiti is one of the poorest countries in the world, but they had a lot of fans there. Most of them were probably immigrants, but I'm not taking that away from the absolute sheer insanity. I was sitting in the Haitian section of fans on their side of the goal. It was insane, bro. Like, they got over 100 decibels when they were hyping up the crowd. They were 2 to 3, 4 decibels louder consistently than Moroccan fans. And Moroccan fans are insanely crazy because, remember, they finished 4th in the World Cup. They made it to the Final Four, ended up losing to, France, and then losing to Croatia in the third-place game. But it felt like Morocco, they already knew that their fate was going to be second place. It would have taken probably a miracle because Scotland, they are looking like they'll make it out of group stage. But that's just because they beat up on Haiti. Well, they didn't even beat up on Haiti. They only won 1-0. So maybe even Scotland doesn't make it out of group stage now. I'm thinking about it because it's looking like a lot of 4. Because they do have a negative goal differential. And then a lot of 4-point teams will get out. Which, Scotland atmosphere, man, that's so great. And it's so sad to see Scotland not probably making it out. But it's always seemed like after they won their first game, because not many third-place teams won their first game, that Scotland was going to be basically automatically in the knockout round, but I don't know. But, man, those Haiti fans, they were just going into it because they hadn't scored a goal. They hadn't even made the World Cup in 52 years. It's like the small countries, the really poor countries, even though they're eliminated, those fans showed up. And that's the thing that you see with these World Cup teams that are eliminated, these small Caribbean teams, small South American, African teams. It's like, they're poor. This is the only thing they got, bro. This is the thing that unites this country together. And all the suffering and everything, the pain, it goes away while you're focusing on the 90 minutes of football. And you saw that. Like, these fans were going in there. They knew they were eliminated, but they were going in there insane. They were chanting, Haiti, Haiti. And that's how you say Haiti in their language. And, they were, ole, 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 ole. And they had the drums and the trumpets and stuff blaring. And when they scored that first goal, like, the stadium was shaking. Like, I have a video. Like, it was insane. Like, even I was like, my sister's a diehard soccer fan. I'm a baseball fan, so it's kind of like a rivalry, I guess, because I feel like baseball's a better sport. It's a harder sport. I feel like soccer's more enjoyable to watch, even though there's a lot of flopping. The World Cup has really got me into that because baseball's very boring to watch. I will admit that as a diehard baseball fan and player, but baseball playing is it is the hardest sport to play. And all these soccer people, you run for 90 minutes up and down, we run to tens miles. Like, it's insane. Like, okay, bro, try hitting 100 miles per hour and then they're we can side tackle, we cram. The ball hitting us, it's like getting hit by 100 miles per hour by a Aroldis Chapman anywhere in the body just does not feel good. It leaves bruises for days. You don't get bruises from a low rubber ball. That's here nor there. I could rant about that for 30 minutes, and I feel like I could win my point of saying that baseball's harder, and we've had athletes say that, but well, I was just talking about Haiti and their atmosphere, and then I just got on a rant. But anyways, I know what I was talking about, but I was just sitting down, and then they scored. Like, Haiti was going out there, and they were just kicking everything. They were just having fun because they're not playing for anything. They're just trying to have their first goal, get their first point in 52 years. And they scored. And the faces on Morocco, like, they were nervous because it was the beginning of the game, so they still felt like they might have a chance because the Brazil game just started that they could win the first place game. And they were like, it was insane. Like, I was just sitting down. And then I popped up as a baseball fan, a kid that was grateful to be there, but like it was whatever if I went to the World Cup game or not because it was a meaningless game. But I was jumping. Like, it was insane. Because the goal, so he kicked it in from the corner, and then the guy who scored, he kicked it behind his kicking leg. So it was like a behind the leg pass, but it ended the net. That was insane. And then Morocco scored, and then they didn't even celebrate because they were hustling. Like, when you're down or you're trying to play for something, like in the knockout rounds or trying to play for a first place game, like, there's no celebrating. Like, you got to go, go, go. And then this was one of the craziest goals, no bias because I saw it in person, one of the craziest goals I've seen all World Cup. He was outside of the box. Two Moroccan players were standing from me to this car, side by side. It was looking like he was trying to pass it in for a header, and then the sheer path. So he's from the right side of the box when you're looking at it. This is the Haitian player. The ball goes in, and it's looking like, it might hit the top left corner. And then it curves back, and the goalie has no chance. It was a 107-mile-per-hour shot that just went like that. Pure cinema. And the place was shaking. Even more than the first goal. Because these Haitian fans, they were going into the game like, if we score one goal, I'll cry. The tears. There was drinks being thrown everywhere. I was soaked after the goal because there were so much tears and drinks. They just wanted one goal. They got two goals. At halftime, it was 2-2. Morocco tied it up late, almost in extra time. And I heard Haitian fans say, I don't even care if we win. We got two goals. We wanted one goal. We got double that. We got two goals. They were so happy. It was sheer insanity. Morocco, they ended up scoring two in the second half, and then they finally were like, well, this game's meaningless. So they scored in the 40th minute and then in the 87th minute, like two goals that almost, if you're Haiti, you're like, ooh, we're about to make it to extra time. We're about to make it into the locker room tied up. But insane experience as coming from a baseball fan and a guy who didn't used to like soccer because of the flopping and stuff, but it's gained on me, especially the great success that USA's had. It's definitely an experience I would really like. The tickets are expensive, but it would be something that I wish everybody could experience. Now let's head into college football. I talked about this a little bit. Brandon Sorsby, he was going to enter the supplemental draft after the Big 12, was going to take him to court and take Texas Tech to federal court. So he just went to enter the supplemental draft. Here's the thing about the supplemental draft. Roger Goodell makes the decision, the NFL commissioner, do we have a supplemental draft or not? Sorsby, it seemed like, went into this thinking, they're going to have a supplemental draft for sure for me, but it's not guaranteed. Goodell and the NFL said that they're not going to have a supplemental draft. And the response that Sorsby got from the NFL, it was a laughably harsh response. They were shaming, it was deserved because he was using, like I said, there's actual problems with people that have mental health, but he was using the mental health gambling addiction to his benefit, and it came back and bit him in the ass. And they were slandering, like, you can't gamble. Like, that's the worst thing you can do in the sports realm of thing, in the sports rules, the sports law. And you can't do that. So we're not going to allow that. And so a lot of people thought they were going to have the supplemental draft, but let Sorsby, the NFL would force Sorsby to sit out 1 year. Now, Sorsby, he can't go back to college. He has to sit out a year of playing football. Maybe he could go to the Canadian Football League or the UFL, but the UFL is during the spring, so that's about when draft happens. He's risking injury, but he's also going to go into a draft next year that looks to be one of the best draft classes ever. Here are just some notable names. Arch Manning, Lenore Sellers, Julian Saint, Trinidad Chambliss, Dante Moore. 5 guys that would have entered if they would have entered the draft last year, all would have been taken in the top 20, first round for sure. Other notable names. CJ Carr, Sam Levitt, Darian Mensah, all guys who are going to enter this year. And then John Mateer, who was also in the Heisman race before he got injured. So those are just some notable names. And then there's some other guys that could definitely surprise you by their success in their Power 4 conferences that come out of nowhere and could also enter the draft. I think Sorsby, I would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 quarterbacks as of right now over Sorsby in the college football landscape. So, yeah. I don't know what he does from here. Nothing's really been said after that, but he's getting what he deserves. Karma's a bitch. Sucks to suck. Now let's go into the NBA. The NBA draft happened, but before that, 24 hours before the NBA draft, Giannis got traded to the Miami Heat. Let's clap it up. Giannis is free, and who's his team? Bam Adebayo and a trash can? A cardboard box? And then an electrical cord as his starting 5. That's right. The Heat traded 3 starters and basically their whole bench and 3 future first-round draft picks. So this trade was massive. The Bucks are setting up for the future. It looks like they're going to do what OKC did. They got their championship. OKC had a run where they almost won a championship. Some could say they should have won a championship. And then they went to rebuild and ended up winning a championship. And it's looking like that's what the Bucks are going to do. Pat Riley finally gets his big trade. You know, he was in trade talks with Dame, getting KD, a bunch of guys, and never did. Here's the thing. Eastern Conference is so loaded. I would take the 76ers. Yes, the 76ers. Injury prone, I know. But they got so much young talent. And when Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, and with the way that BJ Edgecombe played, and then if PG can stay healthy and stay off the steroids, that's a nasty starting 4, and then fill in whoever. I would take the Celtics, even if they trade Jaylen Brown, which it looks like they're going to trade Jaylen Brown. They should get a good haul, and I would say get first or second round pick and then a good player. I would take the Knicks. Who else would I take? I don't know if I would take the Pacers because Tyrese coming off an injury, but I don't think they have the best supporting cast. I'm missing somebody. Who else would I take? I will say I'll take the Cavs. Just in the regular season, not in the playoffs because James Harden, not the best, but they did make the Eastern Conference Final. But there's 3 teams for sure I would take over the Heat. I would say there would be a 4 through 6 team in the East. Hey, but clap it up. They'll make it out of the play-in. They won't be in a play-in anymore. It's just they don't have any draft picks. They have limited cap space. Their 3rd and 4th best players are free agents right now. So if they don't get Norman Powell, then who's their other guy? I'm blanking. It's literally G League guys that are going to be starting for them. The only way they do good is because it's so hard. No team has 2 big men, really, that can stop the sheer height and then the great perimeter shooting that Bam has, because he did score 83, and then the sheer dominance of Giannis being on the same court. But those 2 have to average like 40 a night for it to be close, and they have to be defensive lockdowns with Bam. Sometimes it's not. Giannis is, but Bam's not. And then they have to find a good ball handler that can shoot. That's the thing. Knicks, they got guys that can shoot, and then they got Cat who can go up with the best, like Wemby. and lock him down. So if you just mitigate Giannis, let Giannis have his 30 or 40 points. But if you can stop Bam, get him 10 points, that's 50 points. They don't have a three-point threat that you do, like Jalen Brunson, who can score 30. And then you have OG who scored 20, and then Cat that can score 20. I'm not saying that's going to happen every night, but that's what they did in the playoffs. That's why they won it all. And in the Western Conference, you got the Spurs. You got the OKC Thunder. And OKC has two great big men now in Chet and then who they just drafted out of Michigan. I know Chet's he's getting slandered and he's not the best defensive guy, but he can still be a body on Bam while their defensive guy that they just got from Michigan, the center, can be on Giannis. It's a big blockbuster trade. I just don't see how it moves the needle. Just right before I came on here, LaMelo Ball got traded to the Timberwolves. Man, being in North Carolina, the Hornets, they had one of the best second halves in their franchise's history. Khan was doing great. They're starting to figure out Brandon Miller. Their top 5 draft picks were doing great. And then their franchise player, yes, he's injury prone, but he's only 24. He was starting to come out because when LaMelo has the ball, it gets the guys like Bridges open. It gets Brandon Miller that can get down low. It gets Khan wide open so they can start shooting threes. Those guys, I saw stat, it was increased from 5 to 8% the amount of points that they would score when LaMelo's on the team or on the court. They traded for Nas Reed and some looking to be not so good pick swaps. They didn't even get the best of the best picks. And then the draft happened. AJ DeBonsa, I felt like he should have been number 1 overall. He does go number one overall. The top 8, really until the Mavericks, was all chalk. People were complaining about that. Yes, OKC got the best center in the draft, it's looking like. But what? It went number 1 was DeBonsa, number 2 was Peterson, number 3 was Cam Boozer, number 4 was Caleb Wilson. I'm really rooting for Caleb Wilson. Cam Boozer, he's very humble, so I'm rooting for him too. I think DeBonsa and Peterson, I think that's going to be a rivalry to watch out for in the NBA to come. Watch out for the Wizards. I know they have an injury-prone team and old guys like AD. I think AD does stay. Maybe he's your trade deadline type of guy if they're not doing good, but I think you have to ride it out. And Trae Young, who just signed $200+ million. And then the Jazz, they got Jaren Jackson Jr., who's the big guy that they have down low. They got Ace Bailey. They got Darian Peterson. Like, they got guys that are young, and hopefully they don't tank anymore. I would love to see them not in the play-in, but in the actual playoffs. I think they could compete there for like a 5-4 seed. But hey, if I'm a Jazz fan, I'll take the 6 seed because the West is so good. But you have some big guys and some big bodies that could go up against Wemby or OKC. And then Caleb Wilson being 4th overall. Him and Darius Acuff, I hope they bring light into a city. Darius Acuff went to Sacramento. Bring light into a city that needs help. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Wilson because he's playing in the most historic NBA top 3. Because Lakers and Celtics, they're the first and second most NBA championships. But in modern day, I mean, you think of the Bulls still as a top 3 franchise because D Rose and then, of course, Michael Jordan. And he's saying that he wants to be better than Michael Jordan. That's the confidence that you want to hear after everybody. That's the first question they asked him after he just got drafted. Of course, that's the confidence you want to hear. I just feel like he just lives up to the hype. He doesn't have to be an MVP. But what they had with Josh Giddey and those guys was not enough. They got to do something. They got to find a playmaker. Hopefully, Caleb Wilson can stay healthy. You know, UNC really fell off a cliff, and then they sold their first round NCAA game in the first round against VCU. It went downhill after Caleb Wilson got injured because I felt like they were a Sweet 16 team locked for sure, maybe even a Final Four team. Last thing that we got to talk about, I didn't know where I could enter this, but I have to end with some tragic news. Oliver Tree, I posted a daily video on him. He died on an unlicensed helicopter in Brazil. 2 helicopters crashed together. Everybody on board did not see it. It was 1 person on one helicopter and then 4 on the other, on the one that Oliver Tree was on. It was at night. Two helicopters just couldn't see each other. He was on his worldwide tour. He was going to perform in every continent, even in Antarctica he was in. And that tour was, what, a month in? Not even that. Just a couple months in. And I really went into depth about just in my daily video, just about not taking life for granted. You know, a guy who just, he brought light into a world when we needed it during COVID, when everything wasn't doing that great. And just prayers to his family. And, you know, it's hard. I don't want to end this podcast ending it right here, but just remember, because I'm a culprit, even as I'm talking about this right now, just don't take life for granted. Yeah, I think that's just really all the words that I want to leave you with. Don't take life for granted. You preach it all the time, but life could be over like that, and you don't have time to think about it. So, thank you guys for watching. Sorry I have to leave it right here, but don't take life for granted.